This is your home edition quarantine version of the Banana Hawk Sky Trainer 14mm, also known to many people as a Skyhawk. Has the manual, has the wing struts, 3-bladed propeller. If you bought the ready to fly package, it'll include a battery 2200 11.13S. I got the optional charger, wall charger, and the actual charger. Now, since we're at home during quarantine, I won't have a fancy studio or anything like that, but I'll try to show you most of the basic stuff to put this together. It's not going to be a step-by-step of every single item that needs to be done, but I'll show you how everything gets connected and get you going. There's one wing panel, the elevator, and the other wing. You notice all the servos are already installed, all the wires are pre-run for you. The rudder and vertical. And let's get the fuselage out. Here's the fuselage. Underneath you will find your wing spar, your 2 Y connectors and 2 antennas, the landing gear, and your spinner. Like I said, this is the home edition during quarantine version, so I'm going to get started on this, and then I'll show some of the sub-assemblies either while I'm putting them together, but most likely while they're already in place, and we'll go from there. All the servo wires are already in place for you. Just like all the servos are installed. For example, the tail, you see the wires already over here. This is the one for the cable for the elevator. This is the cable for the rudder, for the vertical fin. And once I get that installed, you'll see the rest of it. The inside of the fuselage, you can see the other wires that will get connected. There's a hatch in the bottom, actually a couple of hatches in the bottom. And let's get this build going. One of the first things we're going to look at is both hatches on the bottom. The first one is just a plastic adapter on there to open the hatch. It contains your speed controller, and that's also going to be your battery compartment. It clips on the front and just snaps in on the back. The second compartment is access to your elevator and rudder servos. Alright guys, if you're following the instruction manual, steps 1 through 4 are already actually completed for you. Here's the wing panel, both of them. And you notice that there's 3 leads coming out of each wing. The shortest one is going to be for flaps. The other one that's also a servo extension, which has 3 wires, is going to be for ailerons. So the short one is flaps, the longer one is ailerons, and the one with the 2 cables on it, this is for the lights. So here, for simplicity, I have the cables connected just to show you what they are. There's a 2 cable connector coming out of the fuselage with a Y adapter. This will go to your receiver. This will goes to the light that goes in the back and the tail for the vertical fin that I'll connect later. And the other 2 will go to the wing. You'll notice those only have 2 cables, and that's the lights. The ones for the ailerons and the flaps, they will both get a Y connector. If you recall, I explained that the shorter one was the flap. And the reason I knew that was that one, because I followed the cable. It's closest to me, and I just followed it all the way back, and I saw that that was the flap. So the longer one is the ailerons, and by default, the 2 cable one would be for the lights. I moved on to the tail, and it actually has you glue the vertical fin or rudder to the elevator. There's actually a small hole on it, so you can put the cable for the light in the top of the tail or the vertical fin and connect it to the fuselage there. The other thing too is once you're ready to put it in the elevator into the fuselage, you'll see there's a small notch right there, like a U-shaped notch. So you have to go under the push rod first, but when you put that in there, put in the back first and then flatten it out and push it down. Now go ahead and turn the airplane upside down. Usually you want a cradle or some sort. Right now I'm just doing it on the table. You want your model supported where it's not gonna squeeze or dent the rudder there. And what you want to do is remove the cowling to get to the actual landing gear screws. Okay, pilots, let's assume for a second I had no idea which cable is which. That I didn't know which cable went to what channel. If I look at the window there, I could easily tell that the servo closest to me is the elevator, and the one furthest away from me would be the rudder, channel 2 and channel 4. Now, for the sake of argument, I plugged in channel 4, which would have been the rudder, into channel 1, just because, say I don't know what that is. So basically what you do is you go over to your radio and you move your aileron, which is the number 1 stick, and then you see which surface moves. I'm moving the aileron, and you can see the rudder is actually the one moving. So then now I can say, oh wait, that's not supposed to be channel 1, that's supposed to be channel 4. So now I have taken the cable that was in channel 1 and moved it over to channel 4, which is the rudder, and I plugged in the other cable into channel 1. Now, just because I know there's no wing connected and the only other servo there, I know it's by default the elevator. But let's go back through the test. On basic receiver setups, channel 1 will always be aileron, channel 2 will be elevator, channel 3 is throttle, channel 4 is rudder and steering, channel 5 is retracts if it has them, and channel 6 is flaps. Now this is a 5-channel airplane, so you can switch out the retracts for the flaps, or just skip the flaps, skip the retracts and just put in the flaps in there. But you do have the lights, so you want to have the lights in one of the channels. This is a 6-channel receiver, so you want to either put it on channel 5 or channel 6. Back to our test. We had the rudder, so now the rudder is connected properly. So when I move the left stick, you can see the rudder and the steering move. So now the other stick is still in channel 1, so that means it's ailerons. Supposed to be ailerons. But when I look at the airplane, it's my elevator that's moving, not the ailerons. So I'm gonna go ahead and put in there that cable that I have in channel 1, move it to channel 2, which is supposed to be elevator. As you can see, channel 2 is now elevator, which is supposed to be. Channel 3 is throttle. And it basically just, if you don't know which one it is, you can deduct little by little, just, rule one out at a time. But this one is coming, channel 3 is actually coming from where the battery compartment is. So I know that's going to be the throttle coming out of the speed controller. The rudder is in. So now, when I move the sticks, the elevator stick, the right stick, you can see the the elevator go up and down when I move the stick. And also when I do the rudder. Now, you probably already noticed that I did connect the light on there, the tail light. The light cable only has 2 cables coming into it, the servo connector. So you're just going to skip the last pin out. You're just going to match the black and the red on the rest of the servos and just connect it to the receiver that way. With your Cessna now complete, everything is wired up. I have not installed the wing struts yet. That'll be last thing, and also the antennas that go in the top, the scale details.